get mad and scream. I want to feel like I did before. Life is not perfect, but at least I felt alive. I feel like I died with Aaron that day.
Aaron McAtee's relatives were understandably emotional last week as his killer received a sentence of life in prison. But McAtee's death might have been avoided. His murderer was supposed to be locked up in Illinois. Nathan Russell pleaded guilty to first-degree murder for killing McAtee outside a grocery store in Monticello last November. But a little more than a year before, Russell received a sentence of 2 years in prison in Illinois for another crime.
An I-9 investigation looked into why he was out of prison early, and KCRG TV9's Brian Tabak found even the prosecutor can't answer why.
We asked the Illinois Department of Corrections to tell us when Russell got out of prison and whether he was placed on probation. According to the website, that should be public information, but it's not. The Illinois Department of Corrections refused to tell us when Russell was released or if he was still on probation when he shot and killed Aaron McAtee. And the Joe Davies state's attorney told us he didn't even know he was out of prison until he killed someone. Aaron McAtee's family confronted Nathan Russell last week, the man who killed their loved one, to make sure he knows what his actions did to their family.
I was looking forward to yelling and cheering with him at his youngest son's sporting events. I was looking forward to growing old with him and having more vacations together. It's all gone now. All I have is memories, and my heart is broken for good.
But Russell was supposed to be in an Illinois jail for what he did at a Galena campground in September of 2022.
When officers did make contact with him, they did detain him for what was called in by witnesses, which was, just sort of generally kind of menacing behavior.
Chris Allendorf is the Joe Davies County State's attorney. He says Russell was yelling at campers and making obscene gestures. When police arrived, they found a large knife and methamphetamine. Russell received a 2-year prison sentence.
I thought 2 years was, in this case, for a very small amount of methamphetamine. I thought that was, perfectly adequate.
Allendorf knew Russell would likely be released early. According to the Illinois Sentencing Policy Advisor, people sentenced to 2 years in prison for drug possession serve about 10 months. That's in line with Bureau of Justice data. But the state's attorney only learned Russell was out when he saw the news that Russell had shot and killed someone.
I'm supposed to be notified, I think, 30 days before someone is released from prison by the Department of Corrections. I'm supposed to receive a notice from them. I don't ever recall receiving one on Mr. Russell.
After his release, Russell was supposed to be under mandatory supervised release in Illinois, essentially a form of parole, requiring Russell regularly check in with a parole officer. But the Illinois Department of Corrections won't tell us when Russell was released or whether he was under supervised release when he shot and killed McAtee. Yet on its website, the department states any current or former inmates' release dates are public information, meaning the public won't know if McAtee's murder might have been preventable.
Unfortunately, the victim's family in Nathan Russell's case, they found out in the worst way imaginable that how the prison system in Illinois works, and what that can mean for innocent people on the outside, and that needs to stop.
I'm extremely tired every day and have no motivation. I have little feelings right now besides sadness. I feel indifferent when it comes to you. I should feel anger and hate towards you, but I feel like I don't care about you at all. I hate feeling numb. I want to get mad and scream. I want to feel like I did before. Life is not perfect, but at least I felt alive. I feel like I died with Aaron that day.
We reached out to the Illinois Department of Corrections. It refused our interview request for this story. Allendorf says the parole board's decisions were made to make space in prisons to relieve overcrowding. But he says that's no longer the case, and now it's an issue of policy. In the studio, Brian Tabak, KCRG TV9 News.